my name is Samantha Geiser, and I am a very recent grad from CSU. I graduated in May, so just a couple weeks ago. My major was in psychology with a minor in sociology, and I really tried for another minor in American Sign Language, but it just didn't happen, but I'm completely okay with that. My time at CSU was wonderful. Um, I went to Centauri High School, which is in a very small southern town in Colorado. My graduating class was like 65 people, so everybody knew everybody, and I honestly wouldn't change it for the world. So when I was a senior, I was like, do I even want to go to college? And part of my considerations to go were, am I going to fit in? Because college is completely different from my high school career, my high school experiences, and all of that stuff. Um, when I was little, my mom would always be like, do you want to go to college? What do you want to be when you grow up? And we would always joke and be like, well, I'm really good at getting what I want, so I should be a lawyer. I was not. I did not want to go into law. I went into psychology and I fell in love with it. I came into CSU in 2016 and as a psychology major, and I graduated with that, and I wouldn't change it for the world. My considerations to go to college were obviously like my grades. Did I have the grades? Did I have a good ACT score? Did I have a good GPA? And I did. I really tried in high school. I didn't really have much of a social life living in a very small town, so school was always easy to, put forward and put first. Also, another big contributing factor for going to college for me was, am I going to be able to see my family? My senior year of high school was very life-changing for me. My parents have been divorced almost my whole life, so that really wasn't that big of a deal, but I was deciding, do I want to go in-state or out-of-state? Do I want to be closer to my mom, or do I want to be closer to my dad? I was very set on going out of state because there was family tensions and all that good stuff that come with, changing where you're going to be living. And then I took a tour at CSU and I fell in love. I knew as soon as I set foot on the campus that this is where I wanted to go and this is where I wanted to graduate from. And then after that, I, just figured it out from there. I was like, I'm going to CSU and I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get there. So the biggest thing for me going to college was, can I afford to go to college? With my parents being divorced and my mom and dad not having super great jobs, because I'm a first generation student, they did not go to college. My older siblings didn't go to college. My twin brother didn't go to college. So I was like, can I even afford this? Can my family afford this? But I knew that once I decided that I was going to CSU, I was going to make it work. So I reached out to CSU and was like, what do I need to do to, get some money? And my high school was not very forthcoming with all the resources that CSU offered to us because we are an Alliance high school. So once I reached out to CSU, they're like, oh, you're an Alliance high school. This means you get this much in student aid and this much in other resources. And you have all these connections simply from being from my school. So I was like, I had no clue about this. So because of Alliance and the extra support that I got from them, I was like, I can do this and I know what I have to do it. So my first year of school was paid for. It was a little more expensive than I thought because I was a part of a key community. I was part of key academics, so that means I stayed in the Braden Residence Hall, which is one of the fancier ones. They're all pretty tight, but Braden was closer to all the academic buildings, so it was a little bit more expensive. Being a part of key academic really, I think, shaped the way I looked at the rest of my college career. I made a lot of friends my first year, and I made a lot of experiences. My first year, I realized that I wanted to work while going to school. So I got my first job out of high school. I worked in Braden, and I loved it. I paid for, just fun things, and then I realized that I should probably start saving for next year and the next year and what I'm going to do my senior year. So that's how I decided that I was going to go to college. And then when I got here, I was very, very shocked. I was very scared. I'm a first generation student, so I couldn't ask my mom and I couldn't ask my dad, what do I expect? How do I do this? And I didn't know about any of the summer courses or summer programs that Alliance did with CSU or any of the other ones that CSU just did on its own. So I got here on my first day, I moved into my dorm and I was terrified. I was like, I don't know anybody. I knew like 3 people from my high school, but we all lived in different dorms. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to wing it. And then I got really scared and reached out to my cluster mentor, DeAndre, and he was absolutely wonderful. I also realized that I got to create an amazing connection with one of my most favorite people I've ever met at CSU, Dr. Patricia Vigil. And I have stayed in contact with her ever since. She really helped me, like get my footing when being at CSU. So I didn't really have to worry about much because I knew that I had that support system behind me. Dr. Vigil and DeAndre and everyone else from Key was super supportive, and they're like, we're here for you, we got you, like anything you need, just let us know. So my first year of college was very scary because, being in a new place, bigger place, I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. It was very different from my high school experience. I knew everybody in my high school. We were all friends, we all hung out. And being from a small town, it was very easy to, reach out, and you knew it was already available because it was pretty small. It was very different from high school to go to college, but I think that it was one of the most monumental experiences that I've ever had, and I don't think that I would want to change it in any way. During college, I lived in Braden for my first year, and I also lived in Braden my second year. I was a part of Key Plus, so I stayed in the dorms again. And I wasn't a mentor, but I was a mentee. So I took part in the courses that Key Plus offered. And I got to reach out and make even more connections. I got in touch with even more faculty and more staff. And I got so many more experiences being a part of Key Plus and staying on campus my second year. Also, my second year, I gathered a new job. So I worked 2 jobs my entire time at CSU. It was pretty hectic. I worked 40 plus hours a week, and I went to school full time, sometimes taking 17 credit hours. It was definitely hectic, but I knew that my support system with Alliance and with Key Plus and with Key and Braden and my family that I had at my jobs was very supportive of anything that I needed. Or if I had, problems with work, or I was late for work, or I was late for a meeting for Alliance, they were super understanding because they're like, we know what you got to do and we're supportive of you. Along with working and being a full-time student, I was a part of the Alliance Scholar Student Organization. I was the president of that organization for almost 3 years. I graduated being the president, and it was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. I loved working with the other officers and all of the faculty who were support for us and our scholar contacts and all of that stuff. It was a great time. Along with that, I did other things like RAM Welcome. I was a RAM Welcome leader for 2 summers, which was pretty A1. I love it. I highly recommend. Those experiences really helped with my college experience, because I don't think that I would have, found out what I wanted to do without them. By being a part of RAM Welcome and being a part of the Alliance Scholar Student Organization, I knew that I wanted to, help other people, help give resources to, people that don't know that they have them. Along with those things I just talked about, I was a part of a class called Campus Connections at CSU, where I got to be a mentor for at-risk youth. And without Alliance, and without being a part of the Alliance Scholar Student Org, and without RAM Welcome, I don't think I would have wanted to do that in the first place. Dr. V was very supportive of my choosing to do this class, and because of it, it fit really well with my major, because psychology is very much of a helping major, and I wanted to do that, and I knew that. Because of those other experiences I had with all of my job experience and course experience, I decided that now that I'm done with school for the time being, I want to work with at-risk youth in the city of Cheyenne, Wyoming. So I'm going to be applying for a probation officer for youth. I will be a probation case manager for the city of Cheyenne, and I am very, very grateful for everything I had done and everything that everyone else pushed me to do while I was at CSU. Um, those connections that I made and the experiences that I had because of my choosing to go to college, I 100% believe shaped me into being, the way I am now and who I want to help.